Hello, everyone. Yuval Teren is here from the Yuval Teren Academy. And today's podcast topic is going to be about leadership and how we can take our leadership into the next level by improving our health. So today's specialist is Rost, that is going to share with us insights from the health and sports topic that would guide us into a better quality of leadership. So Asher, how are you doing? I'm very excited for you to be here.
Thank you, Yuval, and I'm really excited about the opportunity to be a guest on your show.
So maybe you can share with us a little bit about your background, what do you do, and what you're going to share with us today.
Absolutely. So I am a fitness and wellness coach, and what that basically entails is that I coach my clients who have health issues, a variety of different health complications, such as people that have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, um, shortness of breath, sleep apnea, high cholesterol, and so on. And also those are looking to focus on weight loss. Primarily men ages 35 and up. I'm also a certified personal trainer, corrective exercise specialist, weight loss specialist, and a youth exercise specialist. So I work with many different demographics, and I've been coaching clients for over 17 years. I originally became a certified trainer back in 2008. I work with clients young and old. I also have a kids fitness company where I do sports and fitness classes for kids as young as 3 and as old as ages 17. And so that's a little bit about me and my background. And what I'm going to be speaking to about today is really the benefits of sports and health and how to get them to a prime level where you can really derive a lot of good aspects from it that they could be then useful into you in your life, and why it's so important to have them as a hobby for you and a regular practice.
You know, there is a beautiful quote that says, healthy mind in a healthy body. And I feel like it's exactly what are you doing? The things that you're doing and the things that you're teaching and the things that you're helping people with. In psychology, we know that the mind has a lot of effects on the body, stress, high blood pressure, the things that you mentioned, psychological, um, psychological things can impact those physical things. And by working as well, it works the other side as well. If we work on our physical health, it helps with our mind as well. So I want to dive into that idea of
Hmm.
healthy mind in a healthy body. So many of the people that maybe listen to our podcast now maybe have, experienced stress in work, or it could be stress in their different life situations where they find themselves at. And is there anything in sports or healthy habits maybe that they can develop or do that can help them start and go into a healthier mindset, healthier lifestyle that would help them overcome those stress and mental aspects that maybe block them from reaching their potential and become the better version of themselves, better leaders?
So it's really a fabulous question. And it's something that really I just dealt with a client today for our podcast. And the first thing you could do if you're looking to release stress and you want to dissolve some negative feelings from your body is just take a deep breath. And that basically looks like is breathing in through your nose, lifting your shoulders, opening your chest, squeezing your shoulder blades, protruding your stomach, and then breathing out. So the neurons that wire together fire together. And what does that basically mean? Is that when you take a deep breath, what you allow your body to do is allow oxygen into your lungs. By doing so, you are now oxygenating your blood, and what you're doing is you're letting your body feel the sense of calm. And it works great, especially when you're feeling those moments of stress or tension inside the body. because what the body really wants to do is breathe. It wants to release. So when you release, you're releasing that tension, that stress, the carbon dioxide from the body, and you're inhaling good energy, or I like to say prana, into the body. That is what? Energizing the body. It's infusing the body. So the first thing you could do is breathe. Do deep breathing, abdominal breathing that we talked about. Over, I said, when you protrude the stomach, you're breathing through the abdomen, lifting the shoulders, opening the chest, feeling the weight of the world on your body, because that's what it feels like. It's in the back of your neck, your upper trapezius, your posterior deltoids, right? You're feeling all that tension, and then you're slowly what? Ah, you're letting it go. So that's the number one thing to do, right? And I practice breath work with my clients, and I do it at myself as well too. In fact, I have a whole breath work practice that I've learned that has been a game changer in my life. And no, I did not coin it or create it myself, but it's helped so many more people like me that have got value from it. And thankfully, I do it for to start my day, and it makes a world of difference. In fact, it allows me to meditate, which is something we could talk about a little bit later. Now,
I
getting
love it. So,
into yes,
just doing it already feels good. Already, just practicing this idea already feels good in the body and the mind, relaxing the mind and body. And so you mentioned you're meditating as well,
correct.
and there is an idea in mindfulness as well as mindful breathing that where along the day we breathe unconsciously. We just breathe all the time, but
Right.
just paying attention to that patterns of breathing allows us
Hmm.
maybe to pay attention if we breathe enough air, or maybe we should slow down, or it allows us to focus on that present moment and relax our mind and body. And it's such an amazing tool. And by practicing the physical aspect with it, just puts the mind into a great state of mind. Um,
100%. And the fact that
is
what
there,
you just said
yeah,
is the slow deep breath, not the fast breath. It's a slow deep breath, which is telling you to what? Take it easy. Pause. Give it a respite for a moment. Let the body do what it needs to do, and then return what you have to do afterwards. Right? Right? You're taking, a quote unquote taking a smoke break that's unhealthy. Take a breath break. Let some good air into your body. And by
I
doing
love
that,
that.
you pause everything that's going on. So yes,
I, I I
powerful.
feel like it's an unseparated part from doing sports and maintaining a healthy lifestyle is, and being in the present moment and being mindful of that moment goes along very well, which allows us to elevate that practice into a different level of consciousness. um, do you think that sports, when we, for example, run or when we do any physical activity, is it some kind of mindfulness or meditation itself?
It can be, right? You could actually go for a run because you're looking to, like as you just said, to create some mindfulness experience for yourself to break from whatever the thoughts that are going on in your mind, right? So that you're giving yourself that space to, I'm going to give a temporary elixir by going for a run. I'm going to release whatever is bound up inside my body, this pent up energy that I have that I want to then, diffuse and then do that. What happens? You get a dopamine high. You get a dopamine hit from it, a natural dopamine hit, not having to use an artificial substance for that, and it makes the body feel good. So the body wants more of it, right? We talk about getting a runner's high because you're feeling that high, that lift, that elevation because you're releasing stuff inside the body, right? At the same time, you're raising your blood, you're raising your blood sugar, sorry, you're raising your heart rate, excuse me. So then that it feels like whatever there was, the stress is put on, I'm doing it now in a constructive manner. Okay. And so that's extremely powerful. And why many people go out for runs or go and play sports or something like that is just because they want to just unhinge themselves from whatever is inside in their body and doing it in a constructive fashion. All right, that's one of the things that you could get from that. It's also too is that besides for just you know feeling that dopamine high itself, it actually strengthens the body. So if you do cardiovascular activity, what do you end up doing? You end up strengthening your heart. Right now, your heart can pump more blood. And now, one of the things they've said actually fairly recently is that when you look at people's VO2 levels, right, the levels of the when you're in an anaerobic state where you have little oxygen in that, when you get to that state, that almost that maximal heart rate state in your body, it's shown to actually increase your lifespan, and it seems to slow down as we get older. So that's why it's very important to do some form of anaerobic or high intensity physical activity so you can actually make your body feel good and live longer.
Wow, I feel those ideas are so important, whether um, you're an employee in a company, whether you're a CEO, whether you're working and having your own business. Those tools are so important because it allows us to function in our best version of ourselves, more focused, more energized, allows us to do more with our time. So we all have the same time, but the question is how effective and how effectively we're going to use that time. So it allows people to do more in the time that we got. So it's such a strong idea. And for leaders and people that for example, people that work with teams, when they have that energy, when they have a healthy lifestyle, when they do sports, they have more energy. When they work with people, they work with teams, they have more energy to give them. And energy flows between people. It's a
Hmm.
connection. So they can always elevate people more and have them more energized. And I'm curious, when you work with people, when you work um, with your with your clients, how would you make sure they have the right energy and the right mindset? Because I assume people come to you in different stages of life. Some maybe already do sports, some maybe are want to start a healthy lifestyle, but maybe it's hard for them. So how would you help them get into that energy and habit of getting into that lifestyle?
Absolutely. So first we identify what's going on for them. So if I'm in a coaching session with a client, right, we talk about, okay, what's happening during your week? What things are going on in your week that you could be proud about, and what things that you feel like you can show have some improvement in. So we basically did this to separate those into two buckets. What's working and what's not working in your life. And simple as that. And we focus on the things that are working and how to actually improve and enhance those. And the things that are not working, how do we turn those areas around? Right. So that's what I do with an adult to get them back and to figure out, okay, what is something that you are working on that you want to get better at? And what's something that's not working that we can start to alter what it's not working and maybe shift from a habit that's being destructive, right? Or being, deflating for you, that's defeating you, to just into a habit that's actually going to empower you. And so that's what I do is I teach my clients how to develop healthy habits and how to continue them and practice them ongoing. With a child, it's a little bit different. With a child, and I do this is when I teach classes, the normal way we start the way we class is we don't go right into breath workers or doing talk about what's working because I was their child, right? What I do is I begin with stretching with them because whatever their state of mind that they're in at that moment, I know they have a lot of energy that's pent up inside of them. So what's the easiest thing to do? Let's just begin with doing some head rolls. Let's begin with doing some shoulders shrugs and shoulder rolls and arm rolls and arms in and out and all that. And just get them moving their body. So whatever there's going on, if they want to start jumping up and down, they want to talk, all that, I just say, listen, just loosen up your body. Let's just get some blood flow in there. Let's just get things moving. And then after you do that, I get them doing some aerobic activity, such as going for a jog or shuffling their feet or skipping or galloping and all that. And once they're out of that point, that space, when we get into playing sports, right? I also have a warm up song that I do with them too, which is a choreographed variety of different exercises that they do to the music. But so it really depends upon the client I'm working for. The whole idea is how do I get them into a empowering mindset? How do I shift the mind where they are now and put them in a space that they actually feel uplifted, elevated, they feel good? Because when someone feels good, now they're more inclined to do something that's beneficial for them, such as playing sports, such as going for a run, such as doing a workout, and so on. So I have to figure out what determine whatever that it is. And sometimes it's a matter of just asking questions for them to actually just be heard, right? A lot of times I find with clients is that it's hard for them to confide in other people. And I say, listen, you don't go to your spouse to talk about, why you're struggling with your weight or your, poor eating. You go to someone who's a trained specialist as a coach to do that. So whatever's going on for you and you need to share, tell me now. So let's get it off your chest. So you release that, and then we can focus on what you're actually out to accomplish.
I love it. I want to pause on those ideas for a moment because you mentioned few ideas that are great for the leaders that listen to us right now. Because the first thing you mentioned is so you gradually build a, a habit with them.
Hmm.
And but something that I noticed that you do is you're giving them your full attention.
Hmm.
You're aware of their needs. You're aware of their um, maybe nonverbal story that they're sharing. You're
Hmm.
always aware of them, and I think it's something that many people, as people, sometimes it's hard for us to not share our own world and give advice from our own perspective to other people, but to give people the option to share their world and their perspective, and based on their needs, to just guide them towards their goal.
Hmm.
And it's very hard for people to do it, to not give advice right away, but to listen first. And it's something amazing that I paid attention that you share in your story. And for the leaders that listen, it's something for everyone to keep in mind that we want to always be aware of what is the person that is in front of me right now sharing non-verbally, maybe with their even non-verbally with their tonality, body language, facial expressions. We don't need to be experts in the field to see certain changes or facial expressions. We just need to be aware and listen to people fully. And also that people and change, sometimes we need to build habits gradually. We shouldn't just expect people to change in one moment, but to help them take a
Hmm.
step after step, small bites each time. And it's easier for them to process in that way. So
I love the
your
fact
your
you said that, by the way, progressively. Incremental change, incremental, one step at a time, linear. That's one way of doing it. But I also have had clients that I can also take leaps and bounds and take a giant step forward that they didn't even think was possible because they feel a space in what you said before. They feel heard. And a wise person listens first and talks after. So
I love
when
it. It's
people feel heard and acknowledged, they feel appreciated, they feel like they matter. It works amazing for children, by the way, too, right? Because they just crave attention, right? Just like the same thing with an animal. Does the same thing as well, too. Now, once they're in that state of space, now they're what? They're pliable. Now they're open. Now they're receptive to whatever you have to say to them. So now you can make a difference. And especially for your leaders who are listening, this is one of the most incredible things that I've learned. And I've done a lot of leadership coaching and training over the years. In fact, I've been asked to coach in some of these leadership based programs. And one of the things I was trained very, very well was listening, active listening, listening from the space of not what someone's saying, but what is someone actually communicating, the undertones of what they're saying. And you have to really be in tune with that person in order to do that.
I love it. Those tools can take people into a different level of communication because everything is communication. Even in every time we speak with people, even with ourselves, it's we communicate all the time, and it can take people into a different level of communication, different level of leadership. It's incredible. I always like to summarize the episode in a certain idea or a quote or something that maybe you, from your philosophy of how you perceive the world, of how you perceive leadership, of how you perceive a healthy lifestyle, maybe you have a certain quote or something that you go by that helps you to be that um, an influential leader that helps people take their life into the next level.
Yeah, great. One of the things I always find is very important is that, you get to try on things in life, right? You try it on like a jacket, like a coat or a suit, and you see if it actually fits you. This is what we do with habits, right? You take on this new habit such as I'm going to wake up early every morning and I'm going to go for a run. Now, at first, you start this habit such as I wake up at the crack of dawn, which is at maybe 5 a.m., right? And I'm gonna get and I'm gonna have trouble getting out of bed, so I want to sleep if another 15, 20 minutes. So I put the snooze on. But when you come with that level of commitment to something, this is the difference of actually wanting something versus actually seeing the necessity for it, right? Needing it versus feeling that it's necessary for you in your life. When you come from that space of commitment, it takes on a whole new way of living, right? So people say they want things in their lives or they need things in their lives, but that is all just a matter of speech. When it comes down to the level of commitment of what are you really here for? What is your purpose? Then you start to look at life from a different type of lens. And so I say try something on like a coat or a jacket or, for those women, a dress or something like that, or an outfit is because you don't know if it's going to fit. You don't know if it's going to actually click for you. However, if you're willing to give that shot and you're willing to be open-minded, then you may have an opportunity to actually then create potentially a benefit for yourself. So I always say come with a um, a level of a beginner's mindset, which is not something that I've taken. This is from Stephen Covey, right? Seven Habits of Highly Effective People. But come from a beginner's mindset or curiosity. Be curious about what you're willing to do, not because you already know how it's going to go. If you already know that this is going to be happen that way, then you're already sentencing yourself to that before you even get started. You already know the outcome because you've already predicted in your mind, which your mind is very good at doing that. And we know that from psychology, right? We constantly repeat the same pattern over and over again because it's habitual. But when you come from an open mindset, a beginner's mind, you look at things from a different perspective. So you're willing to try something on new because you don't know if it's going to work or not. So that's one of the things I, 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 I encourage my clients to have that type of philosophy.
I love it. We can keep that idea in mind as try it on, as it definitely allows to explore more and just thinking about how much more opportunities we can find when we're just trying things, when we explore. It's a whole different strategy to life, approach to life that allows us to explore more. And the more we try, the more we get more information, more knowledge, more data. Even if we didn't like something, we can change, we learn from it, we develop, we grow. It's always like a growth mindset. I love it.
Hmm.
So
Absolutely.
So as our episode came to an end, but not the knowledge, so I want to just make sure that people can find more about you and what you do and learn more about your business and your coaching and keep their growth in their healthy mindset and healthy life and body. So maybe you can share with us how they can find you.
Absolutely. And thank you for saying that as well too. So yes, my website is go.masterofwell.com. My coaching is called Master of Wellness. So learning how to actually master your own wellness. Can be found. I'm on Instagram, so you can look me up there. I'm also on Facebook. It's Coach Rost. So my IG would be Master of Wellness, and my Facebook would be Coach Rost. And I'm also on LinkedIn as well too under Coach Rost. And I have some videos, I have some tutorials. I'm putting together a 7-day challenge that we're going to kick off at the beginning of the year. And we're also going to be doing a podcast with a registered dietitian that I'm going to be launching that as well too. Where we're going to be giving some health tips and pointers, things about mindset, focusing on how to take care of the body, how to relieve inflammation, how to improve your environment, your mindset. What are some exercises the best things to do? What are things to stay away from, and so on. So that's going to all be found too. And we call that the Wellness Edge Duo, and there will going to be more information about that. So if you want to then look me up, go ahead and go do that. And you can contact me on those places.
I'm looking forward to that. Sounds fascinating.
Excellent.
And so I want to thank you all for listening, and just that you are here to take your leadership into the next level and learn and develop and grow, because just that tells you already that you are, as Asher said, you're curious and you're exploring and you're developing. So you're already in that healthy mindset of growth. And now it's time to level up and take it even into the next level. So I want to thank you all for being here, and Asher for sharing with us so many great insights. And I'll see you at the next episode.